Good morning, everyone. This is Pramodika. So, today I'm going to take the lecture on understanding the psychological autopsy insights. So, let's understand the first of all the term psychology. What is a psychology? A psychology is like a processable study and the research of the or on the body, mind, and the soul. So let's understand in detail. First of all, the definition of psychological autopsy. Psychological autopsy is a systematically investigates the mental state before that to reconstruct the psychological profile. In simply words, if I say and I describe the psychological autopsy is that the study of person's mental health and its behavioral health and conditionals and emotional state, understanding these so that we can also identify the reasons of that why the one person's conduct the suicide. What is the situations of that, what are the circumstances of it, and what are the conditions of it, and then let's move forward. What is the purpose of it? The basically it provides the insights into the mental health issues, informing the preventions efforts and understanding the case of death, especially in suicide. In suicide case, psychological autopsies help us to know and to identify that why one person conduct the suicide. And then let understand it, like as you already I discussed the definitions of psychological autopsy, like what is its significance. Okay, so basically thing is that it provides the insights into the psychological factors and contributing to the suicide and other deaths. Especially it's like to link the things together so that we can understand the properly and able to find it out the particular reason or identify the particular reason that why a person conducted suicide or took this big decision in its life to end his or her life. And then what its methodologies are used. So basically utilizes the what are the methods are including in it, to understand the people. How we start, basically we start with the introductions. If in our home, how we introduce or how we know, if you see the things that it all happen is around within us. Okay, like look forward, like we take the interviews and then we saw the medical records and then the psychological assessments we do by gathering data. Like this small data really help us. Like for example, what are the medical records of you? Have you ever been in anxiety or any attacks, or you have any disorder of something like that, or you are suffering from it, of like any overdose of something, any drugs, anything of like that. And then collecting that all data, these kind of methods can help us to identify. Okay, then what are the key findings? So basically thing is that all these methodologies highlights the mental health patterns to understand it. What is the pattern of something? Like if we gather the informations or we did the research work and then we collect them, gather, and then we combine the data together, then we find it out and realizing on data, or something that are going to be conducted in again and again and again in same manner and the same problems and issues. So this is what the key findings it is. Then implications for education. Like the basically thing is that mental health education and the prevention strategies enhancing the public awareness. This thing should be a normalized, that yes, that a person, our normal person, can visit the psychiatrist to understand not only him or herself, but understand the how they take the things. How they, might be this issue look a very small, like for people it's very easy, like why are you visiting the psychiatrists? Are you pagal or what? Are you mad or what? What's the problem in it? Why we can't normalize it? Like in the upcoming world, in the upcoming generations, people are trying to being a multitasking. Okay, so while being the multitasking, they really forget about their mental health, emotional health. which we should never ignore. Our health should be always our first priority. So this is the very good way. Now the people are very much educated. They are really organizing the health awareness programs. The apps are there, the videos are there on YouTube, on the social media, and the classes are going to be conducted. So what's the wrong in it? And these things, by normalizing, can understand and make the world a better place and a beautiful place. So this thing should be normalized, that yes, one person can really visit the psychiatric to not understand his or mental health, but also understand what they want, what they are doing, and yes, to help them, self-help. Then the rule in the policy making, the thing is that, like, can include many mental health policies are there, like for providing evidence based on the insights into the societies, like, by this, like, what small things, small steps can really help on the big level, on the higher level. By understanding things and by doing the research on it, we can really help, like future research directions, like we can really encourage the people for further understand the complexities of mental health, for their better, for their mental health, for their emotional health, for especially for their physical health. So we just always understand. So now let's understand the significance and the impact on society of mental health insights. The thing is that the critical insights into the mental health is like the psychological autopsy reveals the vital mental health. Once an individual, either who died in ambiguous circumstances, like, ambiguous is kind of like a sudden, ambiguous is here, the word indicates the sudden situation. So I understand these things, and then we have to understand what is the risk factor of it, how we can, due to the increasing rate of suicide, how we can make it down the lower, and why development of the targeted programs, and the contributions in the public health, and the contribution to the public health data, and inform the training for the professionals. These steps can really help you to understand the someone's, and we can really contribute toward the society by understanding once the situations, once the problems and all. Now let's take the historical overview. What, introduction of suicide study methods are introduced in 1990s, and then the forensic involvement. Okay, now we understand the psychological autopsy with the forensic purposes also. As I am the forensic student, so that will definitely gonna be part of it. And then if we think about that, so in 1916, research begin to start and developing, while people are really focusing on suicides and the psychological factors behind it, what is the mental conditions behind it. And then in 1970s, forensic settings are together, where people are really, understand not only the reason of person's suicide, but also the focus on the environmental conditions, circumstances, the behavior, by understanding the surroundings of the one person. And then now the integrations into the mental health research, like findings how the suicides were integrated into the mental health research by, and people are really making the policies of it. It's basically simply things are that now somewhere the really educated people are really aware of it, and they really focus on it. That's why there are so many self-help apps are also there, self-help programs are also there, and the classes are also conducted. Now let's understand the key components of psych. What are the components? How we can, like, it starts our research. Basically the thing is that interviews, like engage, it's not only about the society level, or it's not only for the job purpose. We all are somewhere the psychiatrists, yes, somewhere we all are the psychiatrists. How? Because we all are listener, unpaid listener. Have you ever been like listener, unpaid listener of your best friends? How we started. So if someone's comes with to you, and if you really find out something odd in them, you can really help them. Ask them how you have been, not what are you doing. Ask them how you have been, how everything is going, you know like ask them what is happening in your life, something is new, and just like engage with them. Like how our parents, the best example of it, my parents are, they ask me like what happened in today's school. We can really help. This small talk with the careful words can really help us, not only the satisfied our soul also, but by understanding someone else, or some also we can also solve our problems also, like that. So psychological evolutions are there, like existing the mental records are there, conducting the assembles for the possibilities, due to the understanding the data, or gathering collection the data, we can also the finding out the rates or the particular reason behind it especially, and then the proper documentation for sure. It's kind of a research work, like first we'll understand, we write the small things and out, then we gather the information, then we find out, and then we link the similar things together, and we finding out the other things which are different, and we highlight the important things, we highlight the common things. It's kind of like that. Then let's understand the step-by-step process and overview. First of all, case selection. Definitely the complete things are based on the case. What kind of things? Then we collect the data. The very simple process which we usually follow, not only in this case, but in all over the things, like then we collect the data, gather it, then analyze it, and then we finally make the report of it, like what we find is similar, then we take the overview of it, and then we took an action of it. It's kind of really like that. Okay, then the thing is that whole work is depend on the data, but how to collect that data? Let's understand this process. The thing is that the qualitative methods are basically like the depths of interviews, the narrative, in the narrative way, especially if you focusing on how we take the gossip, how we listen the in the practical way. If I said how we talk to our friends, how to understand our friends, it's really kind of like that. So how much in depth you can go into that, and then there is a quantitative methods are there, like the surveys are there, assessments, and collect the statistical data is there, and the find the supporting things that can really help you to understand the data in a more clarified way, and then the importance of triangulation like is that combining the multiple datas, so that we can find out and correlate the things with each other, so that we can understand and get the answer in the more clear way, and then comprehensive understanding. That's what's actually happened, like there isn't a difference between listening and understanding. So it's kind of that. While listening, just first of all, just assume within yourself what you will do if you are in that situation. Might be you are not in that situation. How we are correlate, and how we are can completely lost ourselves in the movies, in the cartoons. Why? Because we are start predicting, yes, we are standing there. So kind of like that. Then let's understand some amazing case studies of, in that case, some notable case. For in India, the most substantial death or life, or the most precious gem, the most famous person or actor in itself, the Sushant Singh Rajput sir. If we focus, his death is also like suicide is conducting. This is the biggest case study we can do. What are the psychological so this case is a completely suicidal based. So here we understand what are the mental problems, we collect the medical records, what happened to him, how he have been, what are the circumstances, what are his environmental conditions are there. So I will also take you through the some more cases which are notable, and they're completely based on mental health issues. The case of the Virginia Woolf, someone you might be don't know. The Virginia Woolf is a very famous novelist she is, and the thing is that she's completely suffering from a mental health problem. Why? Now let's understand how the mental problem starts. The mental problem basically start that because his its real brother, it's abused her sexually, and so that she can't take her stand, and that leads her towards the mental instability and the abnormality, and then forced within herself to commit the suicide. So this is the one factor, and the one is also that is a Kurt Cobain. Let's understand the Kurt Cobain is like he's the very famous, guitarist, and due to this overwork, the very biggest problem, we really denied it, but overwork, yes, the overwork, all time the working and the the complete focusing on complete on the work, not resting his mind, body, soul, and that leads him to take the drugs, like to work so that he can work more effectively and more amazingly. So he start taking the support of drugs, and that leads him towards the many problems within himself, whether they are stably mentally, emotionally, and physically, and that completely leads him towards the death. So understand the complexity of mental health. Then the importance of psychological autopsy is to that also help to understanding the high profile cases. These are really high profile cases, and how that, and now the most focus on, we collect the data, we have gone through with all the things, and now what kind of ethics we can, the privacy, like we never share our friends information or your friends personal information with anyone. This is how it works. So confidentially means the privacy, and then integrity, and then act of a balancing, like sometimes bhavnaon mein behna, we are too much go through with then like in bhavnas, no, that never works. We have to be in the limit of professional and be in the limit of a science also. We have to be take the interviews of the person, but we should also remember that we cannot be the partial with any kind of situations or for any person. We have to be stay strong, whether it's mentally, whether it's emotionally. So this is what the balancing act the term represents in itself. And then let's understand what are the challenges while collecting the data. So basically thing is that incomplete data, आधा अधूरा ज्ञान ना होने से बेहतर है. आपको पता है कहते हैं ना कि जो आधा अधूरा ज्ञान होता है उससे अच्छा बेहतर है कि ज्ञान हो ही ना. ठीक है. सो दिस इज़ अ सिग्निफिकेट लैक ऑफ, अगर हमारे लाइक available records and of fighting the data and its reliability, and then interpretation is like the basis of investigation. Very like so many of data of the same information, of the complete repeating of the same information on the same data, again gathering all the things of similar kind of, and then the protocols are there, can help minimizing the inconsistencies in data and collections. It's like that key, we have to be a set, the standards and the protocols, like being in the limitations. It's basically this is remember that like if we go over, that can also lead us to the negative impact, and this is also not good thing. And that multiple datas, the same data we are collecting in the multiple ways, or we are making the same datas by connecting into it in the multiple situations. There are also the challenges. This kind of challenges are also came in the then let's understand the psychological context. So there is a thing is that different kind of applications are there. So one is a suicide, one is a homicide, then accidental, then the trailer, and then depth of analysis. Basically thing is what we understand by the suicide. Suicide is like that kill ourselves, and homicide it's like kind of we took this step in our life that we are going to be commit the suicide. But why we are committing suicide? Because someone else is pressurizing us, some situation is pressurizing us, some person is pressurizing us, emotional help, or like a triggering kind of that. And accidental death, yes, like uncondition of health, the continuous abusing, and then the overdose of drugs, and the violence are there, and then collecting the data and analyzing in depth ways is kind of that. Now, what are the implications of psychological autopsies? you know in this points, like taking the help of the professionalism. Like, yes, we have to be visit the psychiatrist. Either you are normal, you are not. If you are feeling something odd within yourself, can really help you in identify what is the patterns, or like can really lead to the lower the down of the rate of risk within itself. Or clinical practice can really help and improve in a diagnostic accuracy, and that is really true. Professional help is a very good way to understand in the more clarification way, in more the clarified way. And then then let's the emerging traits, and like where the focus on areas in the mental health. It's like, so integrations of technologies, how the technological help. Yes, why technological doesn't help? Like AI is especially AI. Now the AIs can really help you to understanding the data within itself, and there is a many record books are there that can help you to understand the data and the repeating patterns and all. And now focus on diverse different types of populations. Different types of population can understanding child's behavior, different youngsters, and then average person, and then old one. So this is, and then collaborative research efforts, like connecting the multiple datas, and then collaborate with the psychological while law informants and the public health. Like how the law can involve in it, how the one person can involve in it, and how we can take the help of some common person or common people by collecting the data with the different point of view and the different circumstances can really help us in a more effective way. And then enhance the research methodologies, like that key improving the research and accurate captures, so that we can understand the mental health complexities in very clarified way or very easier way. The key insights of psychological autopsies. So basically thing is that let's first understand the how we have been suffering from by like little bit engaging with someone else. And then if you find it out, and we slowly ask them what happened, tell me with this starting and again, how we listen the friend, how we talk to our friend, how we tell your friends, how you listen your friend. It's basically kind of that overall work, how we talk to our mother, how we talk to our parents. Is in my case, my father is my listener almost of the time, so he just listened me like, nah, okay, tell me. So I just, and whenever I came from the school, I just put aside my bag, and I never change even my dress also, and I start telling about the whole day to my father, and he really understand it. He never interrupt them in between the conversation. He just listening it, oh, like that, okay, and then he understand the things properly. And then he is very careful with understand with his words, and make me understand and help me out what is the differentiate between the wrong and right. And that can really help me to also connecting with world and do not suffering from any kind of problem. So like I'm the connected with world also, but I'm also in the safer side also. So yes, the parents are the best psychiatrists ever if we understand them. And then ethics are including like maintain the privacy and the integrity, and the be careful with the words, and like asking in a polite manners and with wonderful words, by knowing other limitations. This is our really key insights. And then like always encourage and ask the questions, and like, and then help them, discuss with them. If you needed, then take the professional help also. Okay, so this is what I mean, that This is all happening all over in a practical way. This topic, it might be find out very normal, but this is not a very normal topic. If you understand this topic, it will really help us to solve the many problems, because nowadays people are not suffering from the physical, but they are really very suffering a lot from the mental health. And once the criminals are never born, they are made. So if we understand the circumstances, environment, conditions, and the mental health of a person, we cannot completely vanish out the crime from our country, but we can really lower down the rate of crime. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and the understanding this topic, and thank you so much to the CV Forensics for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I will be always grateful for this opportunity.